Times Out's annual Best Cities in the World list has just landed, and Cape Town has taken the #1 spot. Over 18,500 people from around the world weighed in with their thoughts on this city. Well, the survey's questions covered everything from food, nightlife and culture to affordability, happiness, and just the overall city vibe. And so to share a little bit more on this achievement, we're joined virtually by the Cape Town Tourism CEO, Enver Duminy. Enver, good morning, and thank you for joining us here on the SABC at this hour.
Good morning, Liesl. Thank you.
Firstly, congratulations on this achievement. Perhaps you could speak about the city's unique charm and how you would have gotten this top accolade.
Well, I think, what I love about the Time Out list is that it's actually interviewing locals. Locals in every city, and like you had said, there's almost 19,000 locals from across the world in different cities asked about how they would rate their city against 44 categories. And of course, that was all taken together, and then about 100 city experts from across the world then looked at those results, and then of course decided on the top 50 list. And I'm so proud that Cape Town is now considered the #1 or the best city in the world by Time Out. Definitely an accolade to keep a phenomenal new year.
No, absolutely, and it makes us loudly and proudly South African. But perhaps looking at the criteria and just the process of everything, you were up against 50 other cities worldwide. What were some of the criteria that you were judged on?
So some of the criteria, of course, was livability, affordability. We always are highly ranked when it comes to beauty, landscapes, people, nightlife, just the overall vibe, and of course, food. There were, I think, 44 categories that they had chosen. I don't know all 44 categories, but I think at the end of the day is, we made it to the top. And it's definitely an accolade that Cape Town is proud of, something that we share with all Cape Townians. But I think more importantly, it's something that South Africa needs to be proud of. And we share this definitely with all South Africans.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better, because as you mentioned, locals were involved in the interview process, and 97% of Cape Town's residents said that the city makes them happy, and also just reflects on a strong sense of community pride as well as their well-being. How does that make you feel? What does that also reflect in terms of leadership and the culture that is rife there?
Well, great question, Liesl. And I think for us, it's a lot of combinations of things. But, these awards, as wonderful as they are, is also a measurement for us to see whether we are doing things in the right way. And for tourism specifically, there's an old adage I believe in. A great place to visit firstly has to become a great place to live for all its people. And even though there's lots of challenges we face as Cape Town, what this says to us is that we are on the right track. We've still got a long way to go. Definitely a long way to go. But I think, again, it's saying we're moving in the right direction. But also, we mustn't forget that this didn't happen overnight. This has been years and maybe even a decade of consistent progress, consistent challenges, overcoming them, whether they're water crises, pandemics, safety. Yeah, you name it. Everything has been thrown at Cape Town, and even, if you look at South Africa as well. But what we continue to do is to move forward and to continue to plan. And this was also done by design through our recovery program post-COVID, where we knew that we needed to get and change a few things of what we used to do, things we used to take for granted. And also, I think to some extent, Cape Town has always been perceived as being arrogant. And part of that is about making sure that we remain welcoming, accessible, and inclusive. But it does take a lot of work. And I think it's a combination of both our beauty, our people, but also a functioning government, along with civil society, and of course, a professional industry. And I think when you mix that recipe up, that's what we refer to as our secret 11 herbs and spices. And it's turned into success.
All right, so I'm going to have to leave the conversation there, but I know that the city's legacy of excellence, was also recognized by the Telegraph Travel Awards. And so, that's been maintained. Congrats again on this feat. It's going to be interesting to see how perhaps some of the other cities could replicate, some of the things that are working down there. But thank you so much for joining us. Cape Town, for having been named the 2025's best city in the world by Time Out. We were just in conversation with Cape Town Tourism CEO, Enver Duminy.